1010XL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach. 1010XL. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes, is presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL,
Now your hosts,
Lauren Brooks,
Donna Murphy,
Blythe Brumleve, and Lauren Rue.
I've officially returned!
Full house tonight, you sure have.
What?
Our
That's
open
fantastic.
includes everybody. We have
the
a
first
lot
time
to
in like
do
a month.
tonight.
I know, right?
No, lot to do tonight, ladies. We have a pair of Jaguars tickets to the game on Sunday. We have a pair of TaxSlayer Gator Bowl tickets to give away, which includes that Cole Swindell concert, which was announced earlier today. We have a Peterwork Chocolate Heel to give away, and we have a ton of special guests.
I'm
So
telling
let's
you right now, you have half of me today.
And half of you, because
Only
the
half.
Red Sox are
Yes.
on.
So my
Well,
other
you know
eye,
what?
one eye is on you.
As long as
and
we
the
have
other eye is on-
100% of 50% of you,
Yes.
then we'll be
You
good
do.
to go. I like it. All right, let's get things started with the topic that I don't really want to talk about at this point because the Jaguars sucked the life out of me on Sunday as I was at a wonderful watch party at Whiskey Jack's out in South Jacks Beach. But you know, everybody's faces were very long and there were a lot of stunned faces. And you know why? That's because we all thought this team was a Super Bowl contender. We all thought this team was going to go, or at least I had the Jaguars predicted to go 13-3. There were a lot of 12-4s, 11-5 at the worst. And you know what? Right now, it sure doesn't look like that. The Jaguars went on the road to face a Cowboys team whose coach was potentially on the hot seat. A team that was not even doing well on offense, and they put up 40 points, 4-0. 40 points on the Jaguars on Sunday. So, I'm going to ask a very simple question. Blythe, I'll start with you. Can the Jaguars figure this out? Do they have the capability and the resources and the players to do so? Or are you starting to think of this season as lost?
If you were to ask me on Sunday, I would say this season is lost. And even parts of Monday, I would say that this season is lost. But I'm forcing myself to try to think of a glass half full scenario, but this Texans game this Sunday could not be bigger. And it feels like such a strange thing to say after the season that you had last year, all of this positive momentum that was built up over the course of last season, over the course of the off season, and here we are questioning whether we were questioning everything we were questioning before the start of last season. And it's one of the more frustrating losses that we've had in a while, but this still is very much a winnable division. We still have 2 games left against the Texans, still 2 games left against the Colts. We have 1 more game left against the Titans. So this is something that I think at best case scenario is that you hope you make it into the playoffs and some magic can happen.
Donna?
I mean, there's 2 things I learned. One is the hopes and expectations need to come back down to earth, back down to where they were the beginning of last year. Like, you go into the game going, well, you know, if it turns out to be a victory, awesome. Because this going up and down weekly is too much. And then 2 bad weeks in a row, that's it. I'm just going to go, my thoughts are, well, let's just temper them down and see what they turn out to be. And then 2 is, seriously, I don't know how many times we can say that O-line is just horrendous. I just, every week so far this year, with the exception of New England week, which I don't know, maybe they did all off season just concentrate on week
Feels
2.
like it.
That's all they did, because all the passion and all the talent showed up that week. I don't know what else to say, you know, but it's...
No, I've thought before that the Miles Jack wasn't down rallying cry might have been the worst possible thing with the Patriots so early in this season. Maybe if the game had been later, there would have been a different feeling, but it does seem like that was kind of the peak of the season, and yes, the Jaguars played well against the Jets, but the Jets played like trash. And the Patriots didn't play well either that game, but it was the Patriots. It was Belichick. It was Brady. So you thought that it was a great moment for this team. And in reality, it almost looks like the Patriots were kind of chuckling to themselves like, yeah, you guys can beat us right now. No worries. We're going to improve, and you guys are going to fall apart. Lauren, what do you think? What do you think about this whole season?
Well, it's very interesting, again, coming from the outside in and knowing the expectations when I got here were as high as they could possibly be, and the hype and the excitement, and trying to figure out if that was legit or if that was just a really excited fan base and a media base that knew what they had as far as defense goes and thought Blake, the worst of Blake is behind them, and Fournette and these offensive weapons, and it's going to be okay, and they're going to just bank on the defense being outstanding, and they haven't been outstanding. And the problem is they don't have an offense that can bail them out of bad games. This defense went into the season with this reputation of being the best one in the league. Statistically, they have not let up. Now look, total defense-wise, the number's there, but they're not getting the sacks, they're not getting the big plays, and people are scoring on them, and they're scoring a lot of points on them. And the problem is, this offense is not built, or it's not built around a quarterback or a system that is able to put up big-time points. And you counter that and pair that with all the injuries and not being able to go to a run game and then falling behind early and then forced to go through the air and make big plays, which is not a strength of this offense, makes you, I would assume as a fan, extremely terrified of what's to come. When you give up 40 points against an offense in Dallas that is mediocre, who had been struggling, who you essentially were looking at yourself in the mirror outside of Ezekiel Elliott. You had two inefficient quarterbacks, you had two offensive lines, and a bunch of wide receivers that outside of Cole freaking Beasley being the star of this thing, were like, nah, okay, there weren't any big name guys outside of Zeke. So we kind of thought, you contain Zeke, this thing is a hard-fought defensive battle, and it comes down to maybe the kicking game, which advantaged Jacksonville. And then they go up and put up points early, and the offense walks out there with 2 or 3 and outs in a row that result in punts and then turnovers, and before you know it, it's halftime and it felt like the ball game was over. So for me, it was the harsh reality of, on a team where week to week certain parts of certain position groups will have a good week, the offense will play well and the defense maybe will struggle and vice versa. This defense doesn't have the luxury of playing bad because the offense is never going to bail them out. And that is terrifying because the way the NFL is structured right now, it's about putting up points. And this team has not been able to do it since essentially the Jets.
And that's my biggest fear too, is that we sort of captured, magic in a bottle last season, and I feel like the NFL has changed so quickly that it's all high-powered offenses with these big arms, and you got to score 40 points a game, and I feel like this Jaguars team might already be left behind as far as that's concerned.
And it's as quickly as it happened, as you mentioned, because you have a class of rookies that have come in, and Baker Mayfield's been up and down, but what Jared Goff has been able to do out in L.A.
Patrick
and
Mahomes,
and
even Brady still, Rodgers.
Yeah, Brady goes on the other day and says, this is turning into an offensive scoring league, and I don't know how I feel about it, but it's no thing. He'll go and figure out how to put up 35 or 40 points. The reality is, that's not the case here in Jacksonville. And if your defense, who's supposed to be your bread and butter, can't hold a team like Dallas to 40 points, where does that leave things?
It's very predictable on offense and defense.
Injuries are going to happen. We watched last night's Monday Night Football game. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't even there for the 49ers, yet the 49ers go toe-to-toe last night with the Packers, who have one of the best quarterbacks
team. Yes.
Yeah, in the country. So as much as I understand these injuries are awful for this team, and they didn't have to go through this last year, I get all that. But you look at the Falcons, they've lost a ton of pieces. And good teams still find a way, and this Jaguars team right now feels like the opposite of a good team. They feel like a team that's not able to move the football, and they also defensively cannot get off the field. The Chiefs had 26 first downs against the Jags. Now the Jags, because of garbage time, had 29 first downs.
Right.
So you look at that and you go, oh, that's not that big of a discrepancy.
But it's skewed
on
because
Sunday,
of the situation. Yeah.
The Jaguars had 10 first downs, 10, and the Cowboys had 23. You're never going to win a football game when you turn the ball over more than they do. And when they have more first downs than you do by that large of a margin, it is beyond, I think, frustrating for a fan base that had such high expectations. Let's turn our attention to Blake Bortles. Personally, I think Blake Bortles had one of his worst games of all time against the Chiefs, but did not play that terribly on Sunday. He didn't play great, but I don't think you can say Blake Bortles is the reason the Jaguars lost by 33 to the Cowboys. That was really quick math.
Good job.
He was barely on the field even in the second quarter, under 3 minutes in the second quarter. And that's a lot of when the Cowboys did their damage. Blake isn't playing well, like I said, but I don't think you can say Blake Bortles is the reason that the Jaguars lost.
He's still one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I heard a stat earlier today that as far as the predictability, obviously the predictability of this team is incredibly high, both offensively and defensively, but Jacksonville decided to go 71% run versus the number 5 run defense. And even Yeldon was having a little bit of success early on, but with Blake Bortles as your quarterback, you are not able to come from behind and score on other teams and win.
They get far behind, and that's the thing. If the defense, so what we saw against Tennessee is they obviously weren't going up against a high-flying offense in the combination of Blaine Gabbert and Marcus Mariota. However, the defense kept it as close as you can possibly, outside of pitching a shutout, if you will. And the offense is just sluggish and
anemic,
completely anemic. And that's got to be. Look, I'm not pretending to be in that locker room and pretending to know how these guys are feeling. But if I'm that defense, I am freaking pissed off because they did not do their part on Sunday against Dallas, but the offense has not done anything to help them out at all.
When we talked with Nathaniel Hackett a few weeks ago, one of the questions I posed to him was, how much time are you in with this offense studying game film? Like what goes on for a week? And I remember he was only like, 2 hours this day, 3 hours that day. I'm like, your quarterback needs to be doing nothing but studying game film because I don't know what is happening. I don't know if you want to blame just the offensive line with him having to be rushed because he freaks out. He gets the happy feet and the no brain, and that's what happens. I'm going to run around, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this ball. That's what I see, and it just frustrates the hell out of me.
But nobody's getting open either.
Yeah.
How do we know? Because he doesn't know what to do.
And the play calling could be prevented or could be affected by his lack of ability and judgment calls and not being able to hit those guys deep. And it's chicken or the egg.
I get it. I get, Lauren, that your idea that it's not all Blake's fault,
but it's mostly his fault.
And I don't even think it's mostly his fault.
If
P.D. Westbrook got a ball hit him off the top of his head and not be able to catch it.
Right.
Catch the football. It's right there for you. Keelan Cole fumbles the football out of bounds. It's right there for you. I'm not saying Blake's playing well, but he's not being given the help that other guys
But that's the problem, is that he needs so much help. He needs the defense to create a ton of turnovers for him. He needs everybody to catch every ball. He needs Leonard Fournette. He needs a strong run game. He needs all of these things in order for his confidence, in order to be in order. Jalen Ramsey said in the offseason that he doesn't even play against the number one. He doesn't play against the ones.
That's right.
And that stood out to me.
They don't want them to.
They don't want him to affect his confidence. And that to me is a glaring mistake. Why would you not want your starting quarterback to play against your number one defense in order to make him better?
When he threw into triple coverage, I came right back to practice, training camp. I'm like, why was he throwing into triple coverage? Are they trying to practice, hey, let's see what the defense can do if you throw to them in triple coverage? Or was that just by design he decided to throw?
Sure. That was obviously by far his worst mistake on Sunday. All right, and a positive note, we have Jaguars tickets to give away.
We're so angry.
So, right now, the first caller, 641-1010, to get the answer right to this trivia question, will win the pair of tickets for Texans-Jaguars. Here is your trivia question. Yannick Ngakoue, Jaguars defensive end who joined Midday Shock a little earlier today, he had 2 sacks against the Cowboys, giving him 5 multi-sack games, which tied him with Calais Campbell, as a matter of fact, for the second most multi-sack games in team history. Your question, which Jaguars player has the most multi-sack games? So, of course, 2 or more sacks in multiple games. Which Jaguars player has the most ever? That is the trivia question. The first person that tells JJ the correct answer wins the pair of tickets to Sunday's game that kicks off at 1 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field. In more positive news, we also have a pair of tickets to go away to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, which is New Year's Eve this year, and it's in prime time. And we have an interview with Cole Swindell coming up, and we have a member of the Dream Team. We've got a whole lot going on. So stay tuned. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL. Okay, and I emailed you the answer. The last 2 years, the Jaguars returned a punt for a touchdown, earning local families $100,000 towards a Dream Finders home. Lauren Brooks here, letting you know that could be you this season. Visit any Dream Finders homes model and register to win the Take It to the House promotion for your chance at scoring $100,000 towards your Dream Finders home. And make it a point to visit the Dream Finders home's newest stadium home before any home Jaguars game. Take a free tour and register for a chance to win amazing grand prizes. Dream Finders homes will select one winner per home game only at Dream Finders Home Stadium Home 2.0 by Gate 4 at TIAA Bank Field. Dream Finders Homes, homes built to fit your lifestyle.
What's the answer?
Tony Brackens.
To nobody that just heard that.
You got an answer?
Just say it for this.
I know, that's why I was like, I emailed it.
And the last name, Mike?
Oh, do we already have a winner? I mean, it's not. It was something that I thought they might not be able to Google that quickly, so that's why I was hoping. Are you sitting?
And that's 9.
Yeah, they can.
Okay.
You are welcome to have my
email?
seat. I'm gonna go relax on the couch.
By all means. So, Katie, we'll start with you.
Okay.
And then switch to you. And see, this is so much more relaxed than earlier, right? No cameras.
Oh,
Well,
gosh.
besides
No
this
Cole.
but yeah, also no Cole. Sad part of it. But so what
Not
we're
by
gonna do
my, that was
is
not my request.
the interview with you included is about 6 minutes. So we'll have you on for like probably like 4 minutes.
Okay.
Have you on for like 2 minutes, and then go to the interview that then has both of us with Cole. So then it's easy.
We're off.
And we're just talking all Gator Bowl?
Yeah, and the concert and all that fun stuff. And the dream team.
And the dream team.
Yeah, so we'll set up Peyton
email up.
and then we'll give away the tickets, and then I'll throw to the interview, and then we'll play the interview, and then we're done.
Yes.
Well, you're done. We're not done.
Yes, you have to stay. Sorry. You have to stay and help.
So he flew in yesterday and then left
He
today.
flew in last night and left like right after.
Okay.
Dropped him off. It's like,
Because then we got a concert, like, there's a concert in
Tomorrow,
2 days.
maybe?
I thought I saw, like, the 18th or something.
yeah, he chartered he flew on a little private.
Yeah.
It's the life.
The only one
I want to know what that's like. I saw, what is that, Bradley Cooper's new movie?
Oh, the
With Lady Gaga. I saw that on Friday, and she's in a couple of the different scenes. She's flying around private with them.
It,
Looks
it's
so
just
nice.
so easy, right? Like when I drop them off, they're like, they need to go early. I'm like, okay. And they just walk on the plane. This is so cool.
Was it at JIA? Because I think I
Yes.
heard they have like a separate airport for
Yes,
private
it's,
planes.
Yep, it's a tiny little plane, and they just
See, that's what I
even check
wouldn't
your
like.
ID really. You just sort of
No,
walk
I've been on a
on.
private
Yeah.
plane one time. It was amazing.
It's great.
It's the coolest. Like you feel like I'm like, oh okay. And you just literally, it drives you right up. You get on.
There's like no security though. So
No.
I'm like, what if this goes down? Does
Right.
anyone know I'm
Yeah.
like, it's so
Well,
much
that's a
fun
good
to me.
point. That is a good point.
Don, did you see that cat?
Yeah. Real sick.
Oh, I don't know those things.
Hi, JJ.
Oh, that's fine. That's just for her. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't ask her.
No, you're good.
Where-
You are good. Are tickets on sale?
Tickets are on sale.
They are on sale. Okay, so we can hit that.
Yes.
And all the fun stuff that's going to be going on surrounding the game and the fact that it's prime time and
Time. I mean, basically all day.
Is it
Party.
still ACC versus SEC?
SEC versus ACC or Big Ten?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw Louisville there this week or this year. It was not good. It was not
College
good.
football's kind of messy right this moment. Like everybody's just beating everybody up.
Yeah, especially Louisville. We got blasted. I went down to a year before. I went down to Orlando to see them too, and they got blasted again. I'm like, I'm not
So
traveling
you
to
like
see this
know
football
with
team
bowl
anymore.
teams, right? Like they come and they're either there for fun or they're there to win. And I feel like Mississippi State was there to win.
Yeah,
They came to win.
and they're just so SEC teams are so much bigger than ACC teams,
Yeah.
especially Louisville. It was clear as day, especially when they played a couple years ago against LSU. It was night and day difference. It's got dudes on the line
All
were
right.
maybe 3 times the size.
And Lamar's fast, right? Like he was awesome to watch.
Fast but little.
Not a big person.
Yeah.
Not a big guy.
Very skinny.
Yeah, they moved her cat.
Where is that attachment?
Oh, Ashley. Ashley was the one that was hanging out with us at first,
Yes.
right? Okay.
No,
She's
man,
great. What
at
is her
first I
job?
thought
She
that
does
was like-
website and
Website
social.
and social. Okay, you had told me that before, but I could not
I
remember.
might have footage to send you guys now,
I
actually.
Oh, sweet.
Let's
Okay.
see.
Oh, yeah, I meant to ask you
Now
that
they
too. Is
have
where
another
can
room because
we find that
now
online? Oh, good. My cousin already
They
answered
want us
it.
to
Perfect. So are you so excited to go home and shower?
I want to shower so bad. Like nothing can beat a shower right now.
All right, here we go.
Thank you. That's how I feel after certain things, like if ever I have to be dressed up and I'm sweating.
Yeah, because you're like hot and then
Yeah.
you're cold
Oh,
and then
like
you're hot
Jaguars
and then, like,
preseason
so
games.
gross.
We sweat outside, then we go in the press box, and everybody else is like clean, and you're just like,
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. We just told you we have a pair of tickets to give away to this year's Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, so stay tuned. Those are coming up in just a little bit, and those are courtesy of our friend Katie Cox, Vice President of Marketing from Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Katie, how big of a deal was today's concert announcement?
Oh my gosh, we have been waiting for so long to tell everyone about today's announcement. Really, really exciting. Cole Swindell was on site to say that he's playing the post-game show, so it's going to be New Year's Eve at its best at TIAA Bank this year.
It's
7:30
gonna be
kickoff.
awesome. New
Yeah.
Year's Eve, ring in the new year.
New Year's Eve, we decided the best thing we can do is just throw a party. And then you'll have some football, you'll have some country music, we'll shoot fireworks off at midnight, and basically the party's going to start at 4:30. We're going to open the gates early. We'll have happy hour with discounted drinks for everyone to sort of get started for the day. Kickoff's at 7:30 with an SEC home team versus ACC or Big Ten, which we'll know later in December who those teams are. And then Cole will take the stage immediately following, and we'll time out for fireworks at midnight, and he'll do an encore, and then we'll ring in 2019. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so much fun.
I love it. Tickets are on sale now, but people can't buy tickets to just the concert, right? They have to buy tickets to
So
the
that's
game.
the best part. That you buy a ticket to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game, and everything else is free. So Cole's concert's free. The fireworks show is free. We didn't touch ticket prices, so it's the same as it's been. As a matter of fact, we created a ticket price that's $30. That's standing room only for the pool deck or the south end zone deck.
Nice.
So you can come in at an affordable price and get the whole evening's worth of activities.
Now, are the fireworks separate from the downtown fireworks? So you'll have your own like fireworks show too.
Yeah, so yesterday we were talking about what's the best impact for fireworks, right? Because it's New Year's, it has to be pretty epic. So I think the conversation is we'll put the stadium dark and just shoot fireworks from the boards, and it will be completely unlike no other.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it's the can't miss party, I think, of the year.
No, I totally agree. And, we met about this a few months ago, and you were saying we really wanted to be a party, and I'm pretty sure I came up with the idea. I'm totally kidding.
100%.
That there should be some sort of concert in conjunction. No, I am kidding about that. But what a perfect guy. Somebody who grew up in South Georgia in Savannah, Cole Swindell, has paid attention to sports his whole life, so he knew about the Gator Bowl, and now he gets to bring joy and entertainment to people that I feel like he's the type of regular guy who'd be in the audience and in the crowd if he wasn't on stage.
I think you're absolutely right. We searched and did a lot of research on artists and who's a good fit for New Year's Eve, because you can't put someone on the stage who's gonna play an acoustic set and it's gonna be like wah wah at the end of the night. And so in researching that, we knew country was the right fit. And interestingly, it's hard to find someone who wants to work on New Year's. Most people want to party, and so he said, I can work and party at the same time. And so he's been awesome. He is so excited to be here and be part of the event and the Gator Bowl, and knowing, I think you asked him, and you're gonna do that interview later.
Sure.
You asked him about what his memories were, and I think he shared some of them. And so he is in it. He wants to do anything we can to make sure this is a party. He wants it to be a party.
Katie Cox, Vice President of Marketing for the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, joins us here on Helmets and Heels. All right, with the concert right after the game, how quick is the turnaround? And it's down the road, I know, but are the thoughts in the mind of the stage that's going to be set up and how long fans are going to wait and kind of what goes on in between?
Sure. So I think initially people are thinking they're going to Daly's place, right? It makes sense that we
That's what I
post a show
thought.
there. And that's not the case. We're going to build the stage on the field. So basically when the clock hits 0, we're going to present the trophy at the north end, so the pool end, to the winning fans. And while that's happening, they're going to roll this stage out and build a stage on the basically 40-yard line facing south, so facing the Terrace Suite and the Bud Zone. 24 minutes is what
Wow.
they say, from zeros to when he'll be playing his first
And how
song.
long is it expected to, I guess, till midnight?
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to see how football goes, right? There's a lot of situations that could happen here. He'll play 60 to 75 minutes. He'll
nice,
break
okay.
for midnight, so we will count down all together.
That's a for real concert.
That's a
Yeah,
for
I mean,
real
that's,
concert.
that's
Yeah.
not just a couple of songs.
Right,
And then
yeah.
fireworks
No,
out
it's a
the
full
door.
set, and
That's very
he
cool.
told me today, he's like, I'm creating a special New Year's show because it needs to be high energy, so it's not going to be like any show you're going to see on tour. So he'll take a break. He'll count us down to midnight, and then he'll come back for an encore. So
That's awesome.
I think it'll be pretty fun.
Very cool.
And he has learned under some great guys. Not that any country artist really needs to learn how to perform, because I think it becomes pretty natural, because you're really singing the life that you grew up in, which is one of the reasons I love that genre. But he's toured with Jason Aldean.
Yep.
He's toured with Kenny Chesney.
Yep.
It doesn't get much bigger than that. And then, of course, his Sigma Chi fraternity brother from Georgia Southern, he's toured with Luke Bryan.
Right.
So I feel like somebody who's been around all that understands the type of epic performance that country fans at this day and age have learned to really expect when they go to a show.
He was an athlete. I don't, maybe a baseball player. That might not be right. So I
No,
don't know.
all he said
I
was he
kinda
played
made that
sports.
up.
He didn't say a specific sport when I
He
talked
commented though multiple times about how he always sort of envisioned as a kid playing sports like on a big field, and he never thought he would be singing songs. And so I think for him to stand basically at the 50-yard line and perform in an NFL stadium is a dream come true.
Super cool.
He walked around today like a little kid. Like we walked on the field and he was like, wait, I gotta take video. And so if you follow him, his whole day is documented, and he was blown away by Jacksonville and the stadium and the experience. So he's gonna do a great job for us.
All right, and Katie, on the charitable side, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl has partnered with Dreams Come True, and 12 youth around the area get to do some really fun stuff while they're undergoing some not so fun stuff and illnesses and things like that. Tell us about that with the partnership as far as the Dream Team goes.
Sure. So last year was the first year, so this is our second Dream Team. They all signed their letters of intent to serve as the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl Dream Team for the year. It's 12 local kids who are battling life-threatening illnesses. And if you're not familiar with Dreams Come True, their website's dreamscometrue.org. They serve local kids only, and so there's no wait list. They're doing all good in the community and making sure that these kids are having experiences that aren't in hospitals or dealing with their illness day in and day out. So what we found was we have all these cool sports experiences. Let's make them be our Dream Team, and they're ambassadors for us. So currently, they all have a jersey that marks them as Dream Team members. They'll graduate to green jackets because our membership wears the green jacket. We're going to Gainesville later in the year to scout a game with them, and they get to sort of have special experiences. So we have a dreamer this year on our Dream Team, Miss Peyton, who wants to be a sports reporter, and so it seemed like a perfect opportunity for her to get to have some conversation with Lauren and Cole today, and she killed it. You crushed it. So she did so good. She did so good.
did.
So she has the first sort of special experience, and we'll do that throughout the year for the rest of the Dream Team, and then they will get recognized at the game on the field on New Year's Eve as well.
Awesome. Well, we are looking forward to talking with Peyton, but thank you so much, Katie.
You're very
and
welcome.
we're going to make you come back in just a minute to give away some tickets.
Okay, let's
But
do
right
it.
now, let's check in with Peyton Titus. She is our Dream Team member here in studio, and I did get to meet Peyton earlier today. And Peyton, I loved how completely relaxed you were about the whole process. You weren't nervous at all, right?
I wouldn't say that, but what definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, and Cole was great. And no, I told Peyton, I was like, look, if you think I'm not nervous when I do certain stuff, like I'm about to interview a country singer, I only interview sports people. Country people, I feel like, are so much, larger celebrities almost, so I'm always nervous. So, you get to relax. And no, you did a fantastic job. What was the best part of interviewing him today?
I don't know. I guess the end when he shouted out my aunt, that was really awesome. My family is all like really big, diehard country music fans, and so when she found out that I would be interviewing him, she was like, "Oh, if you get bored, just ask him to take a video and saying hi, no big deal." And then we actually ended up sending it to her today, and she flipped out. It's been on Facebook, on her account, my Nana's account, my mom's account, everywhere.
So outside of today, what's been your favorite moment so far about working with the Jack Sports team?
I think the signing day was by far my favorite because I got to meet a bunch of the other kids that are in the community kind of going through similar things. And when I was at Wolfson's doing my treatment and everything, I was kind of just like, oh, I don't really want to be here. I want to get out of my room. I just want to get it over with, blah, blah, blah. And so I didn't really get to go around and socialize with people a lot and like connect with other people that were there. And so now like everybody's kind of on the the bright side, I guess, like the gone over the hump,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. And so now we're all happy and just connecting, and that was really nice.
Where are you in your treatment process, Peyton?
I actually, earlier this month, got my 6 months clean remission scan results back. So,
well, congratulations
done.
to that.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Awesome.
That's the best news ever, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was.
And so that's what, when we were talking earlier too, I was like, look, you've gone through stuff way harder than you're about to go through. Trust me. So you want to become a sports reporter. Why?
I've always enjoyed writing, but I don't really like creative writing because there's just too much pressure to come up with your own narrative. It's cooler to highlight other people's narratives to me. And I feel like anything other than sports would kind of be like a Debbie Downer kind of thing, like politics. I could never do. I would be angry all the time. And sports, you can kind of get into the social issues if you really wanted to, and but most of the time it's uplifting stories. So.
Well, you have a very uplifting story. I mean, you've been through more. You're 16 or 17 right now.
17.
17,
yes.
but kind of went through the bulk of this when you were 16. At 16 years old, my biggest worry was not that kind of situation. So I admire that you were able to be where you are and come through with this and be such a professional about it at such a young age and have such a spirit about you. So
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Peyton. Well, we are going to listen to this interview in just a second. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And we certainly look forward to keeping up with you, as the year goes along.
Yes.
And you are always welcome to come join us on Helmets and Heels.
Thank you.
No, thank you. All right, Katie, come back down. We're going to give away these
right.
tickets. Tell people what they can win and also the fact that they're on sale now and how they can buy their tickets.
Right, so tickets are on sale at TaxSlayer Gator Bowl Tix, TIX.com. And you can find all sorts of different levels. There's a map there marking where the concert stage is. So if you're interested predominantly in the show, you can know where to buy. And it marks the teams too. So if you're an SEC fan versus ACC or Big Ten, you know which side to sit on. So our ticket package, we'll give away a 4-pack of tickets to the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, lower bowl tickets. That would include the game, the concert with Cole, and fireworks show at midnight.
Awesome. All right, well, caller number 4 right now, 641-1010, and you are going to the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, and you get to see Cole Swindell, and you get those fireworks as well. And when we come back, we will play that interview between myself, Cole Swindell, and Peyton Titus, as you just heard, a member of the Dream Team for the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. Thanks again, Katie, so much for joining us tonight. Thanks for everything today. And we will be right back on Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Fighters Homes on 1010XL.
From the locker room to the 50-yard line, no one knows the Jaguars like Johnny O. Wow. Hear Jaguars.com's John Osher Monday. Oh no's on Midday
We
Shot.
can just play it when we come back.
Florida Pub Service on 1010XL.
I'm Lauren Brooks.
Lauren Brooks here for Bold City Health. Do you understand the importance your nervous system plays in keeping your body healthy and strong? If you don't know and you want to learn how to transform your health, but you're not really sure where to start, because I wasn't either, you've got to meet my friends at Bold City Health. They are so much more than just a chiropractor. Dr. Aaron and Dr. April will help you learn why you're having certain issues and how to correct those issues through adjustments and proper nutrition. Plus, they have flexible hours and they're open on Saturday, so you will always be able to find a time to go. Call Bold City Health today at 379-4621 or find them online at boldcitychiropractic.com. Plus, don't miss the next community dinner. That's Monday, October 29th at 6 p.m. at South Kitchen and Spirits, where Dr. Aaron will teach you how to take preventative measures to manage your family's well-being, and you'll enjoy a delicious free meal. You can register now at boldcity.events.
What does your morning sound like?
No, thank you. Sorry, we ran out of time for the interview. So I'll just...
Welcome to McDonald's.
How is TJ adapting? Or is he?
Here's to a morning routine.
Sorry, taking the kids. Yep.
Come in to McDonald's, 2 for $4 breakfast. Between 5 and 11 a.m., mix and match a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, sausage McMuffin with egg, or egg McMuffin.
Himself?
Single items at regular price.
Acted out at all? I mean, that's what just
Buying a new car for a wife? Maybe you're just looking for a new truck. You need a man's man. A guy's guy. Golfer's caddy.
Oh, right, yeah. Been there, right.
Justin is a macho man. He's not a traditional commission dealership guy who stalls. He's just a car guy. So when it's time to buy or sell, text the macho man Justin at 904-849-4672. George Moore Chevrolet's answer to typical salespeople. Need I say more?
Fireworks Pharmacy is a locally owned and operated full-service pharmacy that also specializes in compound services. Fireworks Pharmacy has same-day processing and free next-day delivery. That means you receive your prescriptions faster and discreetly right to your doorstep. Fireworks offers a variety of hormone therapy and other health services that can enhance men's sexual health. Remember to choose Fireworks Pharmacy at your next doctor's visit. For more information, call 531-3034.
So Lila had somebody in her class, Gail had her
Attention Jags fans, this is your chance for you and 3 of your friends to
And,
play Houston to see the Jaguars take on the Jags since December 30th. All you have to do is download the
she's
free
like, she's doing
packages
good.
app
But
today,
that's
and you
not
can
She's
enter to
one little
win
girl
big
that
events.
y'all wanna take a picture really quick?
Tickets to the
Yep.
big
She's in
game.
constant
The savings don't stop there.
So she likes
Download
it.
the free Because Mobile
Katie,
app. Unlock great
where
full
are
savings
the
on the go.
Are they
So it's
through
simple
your
to open your
office?
phone. Go to
They're
the
gonna
App
be
Store.
They are going to
Search
be
for
Rick's
Free
going to
Pages
be
app.
Yep.
Good luck
Well,
and go Jaguars.
Blue one, that should be
Sports fans are gearing up and saving
Yeah.
big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics. And autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time. Get free shipping with promo code DEFENSE. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything. Defense Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters. Jacksonville defensive end.
One more? I'll take one more.
Is this week's Superior Fence and Rail defensive player of the game. With 2 sacks on Sunday, and Godway now joins Tony Brackens and Calais Campbell as the only players in franchise history with at least 2 sacks in 5 or more career games. Searching for a fence? Challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 750 total online reviews and a 4.8 out of 5 review average, Superior Fence and Rail is superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where
Nice to
quality
meet y'all. Have a good
matters.
one. I still do one.
Brian Wall here.
Yeah,
Would you
it's
take your
funny with the
paycheck,
school.
go to the bank, cash it,
You know?
and then simply throw it up in the air?
color system.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
But in a way, over the years,
So I
that is
guess gold
exactly
is
what
like
you're doing if you have
top-notch.
old or builder grade
See,
windows in
Jackson
your
had
home.
was perfect.
Even
every
if you have a
day.
brand
Are they
new
going to
home,
the same school?
those windows
No,
are
no,
the
but
best
there's
windows you
at
can
that
have to
age
save when
there's
you're
a
energy
common
bill.
theme like
Window
as
World
far
has
as
sold millions of
behavior
replacement
systems
windows to
they
homeowners like you.
can
And Window
they
World's customer
reward in a
satisfaction
way
is
that's
the
like,
highest in
well,
the
what color
business.
were you on today versus
Please
like,
check
oh, they
Window
were
World
bad,
out
so they
yourself
were
and
good.
save
So
on
it's
your
like
new windows.
these color
And
systems
on your
that
energy
are
bill.
on those like,
Compare with
oh,
other
you
companies and
purple
you'll see
today, or you
Window
want
World
green?
is simply the best for
And
less.
so Jackson
It's up to you.
some days I
You
am
can call Window World and get a
well,
free estimate.
too bad.
Best
I'm like,
guarantee in the
what?
window replacement business.
My kid went
Save
through
money on your new windows and save
very
on your
quickly
energy
they went
bill.
off the same children.
Call
You know?
Window World today at 904
Yeah, he's like blue,
443
sometimes
7001
purple.
Yeah.
or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Yeah.
Thank you for your business.
Window
World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Oh, that's
notes
just
on certain days.
See, that was
I got
before
that
email?
My mom got my book bag full of bad notes.
I was gonna say, yeah, miraculously.
Yes. Now they can just email your parents.
Yeah,
You get bypassed all the way to the freaking.
There's a
See, that's
Plan
what
this
he
interview next.
If you're just
Yeah,
not
I'm
playing
gonna bring
well,
it back, throw it to the interview, and then Brad can take it from there. We can do Jaguars
It didn't work.
till
I was trying to give
7:50,
you, I know, I
whatever.
was trying to give you the politically correct
Oh,
answer.
wow,
You know
That
what?
is
I'm
the one good thing with
Alright,
you,
here we go.
man. He's honest.
Thank you.
and legit.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
You are listening to the dulcet tones of Cole Swindell. He is going to be performing after this year's Tag Slayer Gator Bowl. I had a chance to catch up with him, and so did Peyton Titus. You just heard her right here on Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes, a member of the Tag Slayer Gator Bowl Dream Team. And here is our sit-down interview from today with country singer and songwriter Cole Swindell.
Lauren Brooks here. pleased to be joined right now by country music singer and songwriter Cole Swindell. Cole, thanks so much for joining us.
Which was a little bit of a
Thank you so
debacle
much.
because
This is awesome. What a day. I mean, this is just a big deal for anybody around here and
check it out
from
at
the
the
area.
desk,
So, like I said,
but
I've grown up watching
Tara
sports, and the Gator
and
Ball's
Tara wasn't
always
coming in.
never
and
thought
I
I'd
was
be
like,
playing
oh,
my
no.
music.
And
This
she's
is
like, I'm literally at the doctor's
It all started
office,
for you
and so
playing
sorry,
music in
I'm
college
not
at
gonna
Georgia
make a
Southern.
station thing.
How did you
I'm
go from
like,
playing
okay.
parties to playing stadiums?
Remember we used to have him?
So
Yeah.
luckily,
Exactly.
because they
You
were
know,
at
What did he
Cowboys,
just do?
the
I don't know.
cast of
It's
that
been
fight,
amazing.
so
When I
Ryan
got to
brought
school
it
at
back.
Georgia Southern, that's
So it was
when
here.
I was
Correct
a
me,
sports
yeah,
fan, but
but
that's
I
kind of when I
felt
hung
bad.
up
She's
everything. I didn't play in college.
I don't like
any
these
sports,
early
so
start games.
But I didn't
decided, you know,
know
music
it
is
was
something I've
honestly
loved, so I
outside
just
of
started
Florida.
playing.
It would have been nice
You know
on
what I mean?
Sunday.
Yeah.
I thought it was just
That's
like
followed
Right.
my
but
dream.
now it's
Real
good to
nice.
know,
If I
like,
could do it, that's
if
what I'm
you
saying.
need it,
Yeah.
Although with
Go
the
a
way
couple
that
days
we've been
before
doing
because,
the
yeah.
feeding
I've got
schedule, it all
one.
worked out for me.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's got a little
Because I
microphone
just stayed
cover
up.
on the
Oh,
top,
okay.
so
Yeah, it's
I was like, well,
it sounded
I gotta
a lot
feed her
better
every 2 hours
than
anyways.
the
Might
Right.
as well stay up and watch.
I've always wondered, what is it
Yeah.
like when the entire crowd is
would-
singing the lyrics back
It
to
would
you?
a lot of times sound like you
the
could
best
hear
feeling in the world
like
for a guy like
an
me.
interference. Yeah, but
I
with
grew
the
up
little microphone cover,
playing some of
I
my
didn't.
first shows. I was
when I listened to it,
singing
I didn't
everybody
hear
else's
anything.
songs, cover songs, and
And
then I finally realized, all right, I got to get to Nashville. I want to sing in my
Dude,
song.
how about
And
Dempsey,
that's what,
man?
I know. He
Love
said he
it.
texted
Oh, right.
you.
Yeah, well, he
I saw
texted,
that and I was like, Donna!
He texted
Okay,
me
so
yesterday.
What part of the story is fake?
So
that
you're
he's
fraternity
retired.
Luke
He's not
Bryan,
actually
No.
retired.
No.
Georgia Southern.
So
Did y'all ever
th-
go
he
sing
texted
karaoke
me yesterday.
or play at a
He's like, I'm
small
having your boy on
bar
my
and
show.
all of a sudden people were like,
Whoa.
holy cow, look at these
He
guys.
didn't say like
Yeah,
fantasy
you know,
show. He just said my show, so I figured it was Jack's
So,
today. So I immediately go, Stephen A. Smith, because I always text him a photo when he's on General Hospital. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
look who shows up today, because he randomly comes on.
Smith is on General
Yes,
Hospital.
yes, he randomly. His name is Brick. He's a character. Probably at least once a month. He works for the gangsters.
I opened up some shows for him.
So I'll always send a picture to Dempsey. I'll be like, guess who showed up today? You know.
Joined by Cole Swindell
I thought that's
on
who he was
10
talking about. He's like,
2.5
no.
FM.
And
All
I was
right,
like,
we are a
oh,
sports talk radio station,
Salisbury.
so we got to get to some
You know,
sports.
because we've been in
You're obviously one of the
contact
biggest
with
Georgia Southern
Salisbury,
fans, so
and he used to
congratulations
come
on
on
your
all
win
the
over
time
Florida a
with
few
me.
years ago.
Remember he said
But more
Salisbury's
importantly,
steak?
what did you think of your
Like
Braves this year?
Salisbury's steak.
Honestly, I felt like I was 8 years old again.
So we used to have
You
him
know,
all the time.
I
He's
grew
like,
up
no.
used to the
And I'm
Braves
like-
winning
and
every
I
year,
saw
being that
well,
good, and it's,
I saw a
it's
no,
been
and then
a
I
long
saw a
couple
yes.
years,
So I
but
was
this
like,
has
oh,
been one of the
okay.
most
Well, tell him I
exciting
said
Braves
hi.
teams I've
And then he
ever
tried to send me a
can remember even
photo,
watching.
and it
I
was
got to go
downloading, and
to
it
one of the
never
playoff
came
games. It
through.
was
I'm like,
unfortunately our last one,
whatever,
but it was in
I don't
Atlanta,
know.
and just to see
And
that
so that's when I
atmosphere
saw
and the
the
fan base.
tweet today.
You know,
I'm like, why didn't you
guys
tell
we
me
have
this? He
on the
goes,
team.
I
It's just-
did.
it's a different atmosphere around
I'm like,
there, and
no,
I'm just
you
excited.
never told me Boo
Love the
Blast.
Braves, and hey, playoff
Because I thought that's
baseball
who you meant by
is
telling him I
still
said
going
hi. I
on.
go,
I think we got a
why
good
would
run. It was-
I
it's
tell
gonna be a
you
good
to
year
tell
next
Boo
year.
Blast? I
I
said
would agree.
hi.
Who's your favorite
He
player?
knows
Of course you would.
nothing about me.
I love all of them. Me and
She
Dansby
doesn't
are pretty
yeah.
good buddies. Yeah, you know, Freddie's still there,
Yeah,
but
that was funny.
Acuna
I'm like,
Jr.
oh.
is that's been something special to watch.
So he
and
told
just
me, he's
the
like,
hype
well, he
around
said
him is
that he
not
wants
just
to join
hype,
our
he's
celebrity
really that
league
good.
next
And
year.
looking forward to maybe getting
I'm
to
like,
meet him
well,
someday.
count
He's,
me in for
it's
whatever you
exciting
need
to
help
watch him
with.
shoot.
And it's so much fun to see someone who's pretty
Please.
famous also look up to somebody like that and want to
I'm
be
like,
them.
that's
And
so
hey,
funny.
that's
If
what I
all the
tell everybody. I
celebrities
grew
you
up
could
a
have
fan of
on, you
sports.
have Buble.
And you know, on the music
Yeah,
side of
that's
the fact,
the
I'm on the
thing.
other side of that now. I mean, I get to
But
meet
he
fans.
said
I
that
know what it's
Buble
like
was
to
like,
love
that
music, to
came
love
from the deal,
sports.
or like
And
considered
I think
the
that's why I'm
source,
never,
the same
you know, I always put them
newspaper
first
that
Right.
because
James
I'm
wanted.
that guy. You know, I was that kid, and it's.
So remember how I
it's just
said, I
amazing to
told
get
you
to do what
this,
you love and
you saw,
try to
did
help
you see this
people out
Brady
with
story?
your words.
On your
Brady,
playlist right now,
Buble,
non-country,
Hernandez.
what would I find?
So
Probably some chain smokers.
CBS is reporting it,
I
and
don't know, whatever's at the top of the charts. I'll
of
put
course
it on
it's
in
the
the gym
Boston
and just
Globe.
let it go. I
Boston
discovered
Globe.
music late, you know.
Thank you.
Blair is out to get
Have you heard
Brady
this? Like,
all
like
the
4
time.
months
You
ago.
wanna come back live?
So,
Yeah.
hey, I love music,
why
and
not
anytime I
put
get
a
to
story
discover
out
new
there
stuff,
about
no matter
Brady
what genre it
promised
is,
Tebow he'd watch
if it's
over
good, I
Aaron
like it.
Hernandez.
All right, I'm also joined by
Why
tax
not
leader
put that
candidate
out
Dreamer
in the
Peyton
midst of
Titus.
football
Peyton,
season?
you now
Go
have some
ahead,
questions for
Boston
Cole.
Globe.
Yes.
I was doing a little research on you before to prep for this interview, and I saw that you started out selling Luke Bryan merchandise. So, what is it like? Did you ever foresee, like, while you were doing that, your career would take off like this?
That's a great question. You know, I can't say that I thought it would happen. I dreamed it would. I remember standing back there selling T-shirts every show. You know, seeing him up on stage, seeing the way he was making other people feel, the way his music affected them, and I always thought, one day that's going to be me. I just got to keep working at it, and my path from selling T-shirts to writing songs to where I am now, it's not very normal, but hey, that's how things happen, and I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't lived it. it's crazy.
Your third album recently came out, and I saw that you just concluded in August a 6-stop tour kind of to promote it. For this performance at the Taxslayer Bowl, what is that going to kick off for you and your new album going into 2019?
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things, shows like this that are such a big deal. You know, out on tour we kind of keep the same routine, but this is a whole different deal. We're going to build a whole new set list, obviously play, you know, my songs that got me here. I've my first 2 albums, we were fortunate enough to have some success, but this new album I think is just something special. So we'll have a lot of the new album mixed in with the songs that I think, you know, people know, that the ones that got me here.
15 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be, I've just got to make sure everybody's having a good time. It's New Year's Eve. It's we're ending a great year, going into another great one, so we're gonna have fun.
Thanks, Peyton, and thanks, Cole. Of course, you can catch Cole the free concert coming up after this year's Taxslayer Gator Bowl on New Year's. No better way to start 2019.
He was great, absolutely great. And thanks again to Cole Swindell for sitting down with me. And like I said, he was fantastic with Peyton as well. And you could tell she did her research. She asked great questions. It was a whole lot of fun today.
It sounded like a really fun experience, and for her, and to be so comfortable in front of a superstar like that at 16, 17 years old, that's great.
Yeah, and it was on camera, by the way. It wasn't
it was on camera too?
Recorded
oh my God,
for radio purposes. It was also on camera, so she did a terrific job.
That's very cool.
All right, let's take it to some not so pleasant stuff.
Back to the bad stuff.
To the Jaguars.
All right, yeah, we've had a little bit of event session earlier in the show, and we're going to continue that trend because we definitely need it. So I would say the last season, 2017 season, was very unexpected for this Jaguars team. They built up a lot of momentum in the offseason, made some what we thought were some good pickups in Dante Moncrief and ASJ. So obviously those haven't exactly panned out so far this season. So with the lack of offensive production, the high expectations heading into the season, if the Jaguars do not win on Sunday, how should fans react?
I think this is one of the biggest games of the season, not just because of the last 2 weeks' performance, but it's back at home, and you've got a team that at the beginning of the season wasn't playing well. You almost could write off the Texans, and then they were able to resurrect it. Now they are right where the Jaguars are at 3-3. It's a big game because they have an excellent defensive line too, and your Jaguars offensive line right now is not playing well. There are a lot of injuries going up and down it. So that left tackle position is a problem. They signed Eric Flowers from the Giants. We'll see. He was inactive on Sunday. We'll see if he's going to be active this Sunday. I would presume he would be. But I don't know that the Jaguars are going to be able to get into that rhythm offensively. So if they lose to the Texans, I think at that point most diehard fans will go, this is over. The season is over. It may not be, but that's where I think people's mentality will be.
Yeah, I have no idea. I can't speak for the fan base. You can obviously do that. But I would assume that there would be sheer panic, and probably rightfully so. Anytime, I mean, Calais Campbell said it himself, good teams don't lose 2 in a row. Well, what does that mean if you drop 3? And I think it's less about losing games, because everybody is going to lose games. No one is going to have a perfect season. And when people predicted what they thought the regular season outcome would be, anybody who was being honest with themselves didn't say 16-0. But it's the way they are losing these games that is the most alarming. The fact that the offense can't get anything going. And a lot of that falls on Blake, despite the fact that there are so many injuries. The reality is he is the quarterback of this team, and he's the one who gets to make the decisions. He's the one who has the football in his hand the most. He can at times lose it for his team, and he's yet to show us that he can bring this team from behind to win it. He's shown us a couple of times he can lead them, not come from behind, but lead them in a way, but he hasn't done it consistently enough. So Blythe, I would assume that if you drop 3 straight, you lose to another divisional opponent, I would assume that the fan base would be up in arms and would be calling for some kind of dramatic change, because something dramatic would need to happen.
Yes.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, in my irrational fanhood, which I honestly didn't know still kind of existed. I thought, from a person who was such a diehard fan that sort of stumbled into radio and then sort of saw my fanhood sort of wane a little bit and come down from the fanatic part of it, to see it come back last season and then to go through this all over again this season. Like, I definitely feel like after Sunday's game against the Cowboys, it was a fire everyone kind of day for me. I know that's not realistic.
But that's the true fan side coming out, wanting better for your team because you're invested and you have these expectations and they've let you down.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I don't know that I am clinging on to the Blake Bortles bandwagon. I'm clinging on with one hand, and if this game doesn't go well, I'm completely off the Blake train. It completely off of it. What about you, Donna?
I've only ridden in a sidecar ever for that one. I've never been on that train. But if they lose to Houston, they're lucky that their next home game, because I don't count the London game, is a primetime game against Pittsburgh. Because that will be, fans will show up.
Yeah.
Regardless of what team, fans will show up for that one.
If that game terrifies me now.
Yes.
See, it doesn't.
The Jaguars lose to
the divisional games terrify me more than the Steelers game. I still think if we lose,
the Steelers are going to be out for blood.
Come for blood, and we'll come for your head, because that's how I feel about the Steelers. I still feel like we could drop every single game before that Steelers game, and we'll still come in and beat the bricks off of them.
Yeah, if this was Indy, I would be like, that's going to suck, because I don't know what fan wants to come in and watch the Colts. But I would be excited to hear what Captain Andrew Luck has to say about his squirrel oil that's needed. But you can't lose to Houston. You can't lose 3 in a row, and you can't lose to Houston.
But don't you think they're better than the Jaguars right now? If you look, Deshaun Watson versus Blake Bortles.
A lot of teams are better than the Jags right now.
Yeah.
Not the Giants.
Even Deshaun, even with the collapsed lung, he's better than Blake Bortles right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I guess I look at it and I go, okay, I have to take off the teal glasses that I was looking through against the Cowboys, because I thought this Jaguars defense was going to rise from the ashes after that loss to the Chiefs. They said they came out flat. There's no way they're going to come out like that this past Sunday. And I thought for sure they would somehow, some way take over, dominate, and therefore the offense would be given every chance to be able to figure it back out. If the defense isn't going to play at the level last year, how are the Jaguars going to beat the Texans?
Well, I think as far as the level of last year, it's a sort of bit misconstrued, because the first game against the Texans, we did have those 10 sacks. And they are still pressuring. I think they're something like 10th in the league, and as far as quarterback pressures are concerned, they're not getting the turnovers. And they need to create those turnovers in order for the offense to have a shot. And I think when the defense sees the team go down, 10-0 in the first quarter or the second quarter, they know that there's zero hope for Blake to bring them back, and you could see them being deflated. It also doesn't help either that this defense is also very predictable, and you're playing in different schemes that is, whether it's zone defense or cover 3, you're playing in these different schemes that the NFL is catching on more quickly. So I guess the high stakes performance that they had last season, teams are really quick to figure out where the weaknesses are on that scheme, and we're not adjusting fast enough, if at all. And that's what's the most frustrating part, is that this defense still should be able to create those turnovers. They're not doing it, and they're not being put in that position to do so.
The question for me every single week is, how the hell are they going to score? Legitimately. How are they going to find their way in the end zone if they are not at least, unless it's coming off a defensive turnover where it puts them in field position, but still their red zone efficiency sucks. And unless they go out and send Lambeau out there to kick it, I don't really know how they're going to score every week.
Well, and that's where
that's where I just find myself going, I don't know. I have no idea how this turns out, and I don't know how you outscore your opponent when you cannot seem to find the end zone back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, and it's where Hackett and Blake and the wide receivers and the offensive line and the running backs and the tight ends, what's left of them, kind of have to all get together and figure out a plan that works for everybody, whether that's taking some plays out of the playbook, which has happened in the past, or that's becoming more creative. I don't necessarily blame the defensive coordinator and the scheme per se, and not that I know enough about it to blame that, but as I watch football games for this team right now, I'm watching guys that look completely out of position, and they point to themselves, like we saw Deshaun Gibson do one time. We saw Barry Church do it one time. We've seen Telvin Smith do it one time. They point to themselves like, "Hey, that's my bad." There was no, it was my bad last year, except a few games that honestly didn't really count towards the end of the season. How is it that there are 8 Pro Bowlers on this team returning from a season ago, and other guys that we thought like Miles Jack, who wasn't a Pro Bowler, that we thought might get there this season? How do you have all that talent and the same core group of guys, and you're miscommunicating and you're in the wrong spots and you're not as fast as a season ago? That to me just doesn't make sense. So I don't know whose fault it is, but I will say the defense certainly can't look to the offense and say it's your fault when they're allowing the teams to drive down the entire length of the field multiple times. And yes, they're not getting the defensive points, but that's not on them. It right now is both sides of the football going, well, we came, we saw, and the other team conquered. Let's figure it out next week. Hopefully. They're saying in the locker room, yeah, we came out flat, or they're saying we still believe in ourselves. I just want to see that translate this Sunday for sure, because it's going to be a special day for my family, dang it, and I'll tell you guys about that next week. But it's going to be a special day, and I really want it to be a freaking Jaguars win. That's all I have to say.
All right, well, we're going to ask Ashlyn Sullivan, Jaguars digital reporter, about that next. She is coming up next on this Helmets and Heels built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Bortles, play fake, dropping, looking. Fires deep toward the end zone. Caught by Davey Westbrook. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Bortles to Davey Westbrook for the score.
Oh, there we go.
10 seconds.
If you just discovered that your roof has a leak, or if you've realized you need a whole new roof, contact my friends at All Pro Roofing and Consulting, who have over 25 years of experience. Lauren Brooks here. When it comes to hiring a roofer, you want one who won't require any upfront deposits and one who is not going to sub out their crews. You won't find a more solid company than All Pro Roofing and Consulting, a family-owned company and a part of the Lloyd's family of businesses. Find them online at allproroofingllc.com. They're a roofer you can trust. That's allproroofingllc.com. Thank you. Yep. It's funny, Tom was like, yeah, I got to make a promo out of the game on Sunday. And I was like, Tom, that shouldn't take very long. There's one highlight. Just one.
Lots of lowlights.
But I guess he mixed in the lowlights. Yeah, I thought it was just the highlight video. Does anyone have any idea of what I should be Friday night for Halloween bunko? I'm about to order
in a few
flapper
days?
uniform. Yeah, like in 2 days.
Oh, you're going to be a flapper?
I'm about to order a flapper uniform, but I'm trying to make sure that I can get it in time.
I love that.
Is it all girls?
It is all girls.
Ladies.
This one's free shipping on to Thursday, which that works for me, but I guess I'm going to have to pay shipping. I'm going to have Prime to get it. Free no rush shipping. How can I get free no rush shipping?
I'm sure you got to sign up for something.
Well, to find out.
Free no rush means you don't need it probably soon.
Oh, but it says it'll be. Oh, you're right. I just looked at the day of Wednesday.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not going to help me. That's next Wednesday. I was thinking it meant tomorrow.
I saw one
but
girl.
If I do free 2-day shipping, will it get there before
Friday
7
night?
p.m.? Yeah.
What's today? If you order like right
Tuesday.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it would be.
It doesn't have a time.
It's-
though, it
You're
just says
having a
free 2-day
party
shipping
this
during
Friday?
Yeah. Because they do it at the same time every month for their
yeah.
group. So that's why it's early. Or do I just pay $8? But the point of having Prime is not to pay.
Right. Why don't you just go to a Halloween store?
I could, I just don't know that I'm going to have time between now and then.
Prime it. Pay the $8, save yourself the time.
Or do I gamble and go with the free and it arrives sometime on Friday, but I don't know.
And then you're
what
pissing
time.
yourself over $8.
But what if it's the same thing as what happened last time and it's That's the wrong thing.
Oh, that was terrible. Happened twice to me.
What?
I was furious.
You thought you ordered something?
No, I did. I ordered a dress, and they must have had it marked online wrong. They sent me a black tank top. I called, went through the whole thing.
What?
Next day, get a new package, another black tank top. It was a dress I was supposed to wear to a shower that I was hosting the next day. The only bridal shower I've hosted in a long time.
That's frustrating.
But see, now this package is like $46. I'm not buying it. Okay, we're going to start over.
That's why you'd be better off just going to a store.
I would. You're probably right. I just thought I could get it before by Thursday. The one thing I could get by Thursday, so let's see what else is available. I really wanted to be a Rockford Peach.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
cute. Let's see if I can get that by Thursday. That one's way more expensive.
Why don't you be Tom Hanks?
Too bad I can't wear a kid's jersey or uniform or whatever costume.
I saw one girl, she was a loofah.
Just
bought like a
bunch
ton.
of those things and like glued
Yeah,
them to a
just
t-shirt.
glued them to like a.
Cute.
She wore like a white tank top, white shorts, and then just glued it all to her.
That's funny.
Why don't you be a prego? I'll give you one of my dresses. Just stuff a pillow.
No.
I'm pregnant.
I mean, that's
really?
You'd hear a lot of shit. You would.
Easy.
Nah.
It's free.
I think that's only acceptable if you've already agreed to have kids.
Feel like, yeah.
Let's see.
That's a free costume.
It's more, but it's one I always wanted to.
Ooh, you could go. Oh, never mind. I'd say you can go as Daniel Craig.
With
And
the
have the
puppet.
Bjorn. I can give you the Bjorn and put a fake baby. Did you see that?
Oh, that from The Hangover?
No, he got a bunch of crap because
Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
which he shouldn't get any crap.
Who cares about what Piers Morgan has to say?
Oh my god, I'm tired. Okay.
What is with these fruit flies?
I don't know,
Are
right?
there fruit flies over
Yeah.
there?
I just had one cross
That's
my
weird.
screen.
Ashlyn, what's up?
Ashlyn, what's up?
You could go as.
I'm going to see if I can get this by Thursday. And if I can, then I'm going to spend the extra. What did I say the other one was going to be? $46?
30 seconds.
Why don't you go as Prosser and just yell at everybody?
They would not know who that is. Only actually one person would know who that is.
I think
That
that'd
would
be
be my
fun.
mother. And actually her friend.
I meant that with all love.
I appreciate it.
In case anybody's like, ooh, Donna's throwing shade. No.
Media crime.
That's
See, this is free today. Should be
complete
also
love.
Friday.
Because I love me some Prosser.
Presented by Auto Insurance and American Window Products. On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Ashlyn Sullivan joins us now, digital reporter for Jaguars.com. Ashlyn, we're going to start actually with some happier news, and because we were just discussing that Cole Swindell concert announcement, we'll start with that in Daly's Place instead of the Jaguars, and then we'll ease into the Jaguars topic. But how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
We are fantastic, thanks. All right, so Cole Swindell was announced today. He's super excited to be playing here, and he actually played here at TIAA Bank Field, well then Everbank Field, at the Country Superfest. So that's pretty exciting news for Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, coming back to Jacksonville, and I know Taxslayer Bowl is already a huge event here, so why not make it bigger? And I know having concerts in the stadium was such a huge success. We saw that with Jason Aldean and Kid Rock and Leonard Skinner, so they're trying to go for the same approach, and I think it'll be really cool. A great way to end the game.
Ashlyn, you have the Rudy in concert at Daly's Place coming up in November. Question for you about that. Do you guys have any plans to, I don't know, maybe just play movies, a special showing of anything?
They've never talked about it. I don't think it would be a bad idea, though. I think a lot of people would come out for it, especially when it gets nicer out. I know we hear complaints about Daly's Place. It's so hot, and yes, it is hot outside, but it's getting cooler. So I think once the weather starts getting better to sit out, I think they'll be open to more ideas of doing better things at Daly's Place.
Absolutely. Saturday night, we are going to have a big concert. That would be another country singer, Brett Eldridge. Are tickets still available for that?
They are, yes, they're limited. He's pretty big coming to Jacksonville, and Devin Dawson and Abby Anderson will be joining him as well, and getting everyone ready for the Houston-Texans game on Sunday. So concerts have done really well the day before games, and like we talk about a lot of times, guys, just making it a weekend full of festivities in Jacksonville, getting everyone amped up for the Jaguars.
All right, well, getting into the Jaguars, what was the mood this week in the locker room compared to last week?
Very, what's what I'm looking for? Not upset, just understanding the situation and just very frustrated. I think everyone, especially on the defense, knows how poorly they played, and it seems very confident that they're going to fix it this week. Everyone just seems very focused, even more so than last week after the loss to Kansas City. Everyone says there was a bit of a miscommunication. They didn't say it was a lack of effort. They said just things that didn't go their way against the Cowboys, and it's a laser focus. I mean, I thought they were focused the week after Kansas City, and this is a whole new level of focus.
Ashlyn, how much of the responsibility for Sunday's loss is on the offense?
You know, it's a very fair amount, and it's funny because we talked about it the past 2 days, and we talked so much about the defense because we weren't expecting to talk about the defense, but you really didn't see much production from the offense at all. I mean, Jamal Charles, we were all excited about his signing. We didn't see much of him at all, but you can't really expect much of him because he's only been in Jacksonville for 2 days at the time. So you can't think that just because a new running back comes to town that all of the offensive issues will be solved. I thought the touchdown pass to Dede Westbrook from Blake Bortles was a great throw. It was Blake's best throw of the day. But then he goes and throws the same touchdown pass to the other side of the field the next drive, and it's an interception, triple coverage. So it wasn't productive, but the play from the defense seemed to dominate the conversation that day.
Absolutely. The Jaguars have made a lot of roster moves. Do you expect them to make any more leading up to Sunday's game?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised. They seem to just be revamping all of the issues. They're focused on the offensive line. They're focused at running back. They're focused at tight end. The issues that we know were present on the offense. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they're going to make any more roster moves, but it definitely wouldn't shock me if they do.
No, absolutely. I think, at this point, everybody has to look around, in each position group and kind of wonder if they're getting the most out of what they can do. And at times, the front office has to go ahead and make those moves. Today, a fourth-year tight end in Blake Bell was signed to the active roster because Niles Paul had to go on IR because of that knee injury, the sprained MCL that he suffered on Sunday. And obviously, attrition is playing a part with this Jaguars team. Do you think that the Jaguars will be able to beat the Texans on Sunday?
I do. I think the Texans are a good team. They have a mobile quarterback. They have offensive weapons. Their defensive line is very, very good with J.J. Watt. He looks back and better than ever. I think this offensive line is going to struggle against that defensive line. I think the offense is going to have to come out and play. I think you're going to have to be aggressive in their play calling, and a lot's going to ride on Blake like it is every single week. Blake is going to have to play a good game. But I think the focus here this week and what we're going to talk about a lot is this defense has to get back to what they've been doing. And this defense did not look good at all against the Cowboys. I expect this defense to come out with their hair on fire and get multiple sacks because the Houston Texans offensive line is just not very good.
Do they get their swagger back if they win against the Texans this Sunday, or is it more of a long-term play for this team?
And I don't know if I would even use the term swagger anymore because I know that it's been stressed, that talk is cheap and they have not been performing well. So I do think we'll see confidence from them, but I think they are very focused on performance-based. I think you won't see a lot of talking. I mean, they're a confident group, but you're not going to see, I think, what you've seen previously in the season with a lot of confidence in the locker room and everything. I think it's going to be much more performance-based from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ashlyn, we certainly hope that this Sunday they get off the mat or pull the bootstraps up, like head coach Doug Marrone said, and go out there and beat a divisional opponent. And, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and we look forward to that concert Saturday night as well with Brett Eldredge coming to town.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. We will talk to you next week. All right, time now to give away tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel. JJ, take it away. Well, it feels like all we've done tonight is give away stuff. Tickets and now a Peterbrook Chocolate Heel. If you want to win tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel, and man, are they delicious, text into the text line driven by Duval Ford. That would be 641-1010. And tell JJ the name of the artist or the name of the song, and you will win tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel. Well, we've talked a lot about the different things that have happened with this Jaguars team. They've lost Cam Robinson for the season. They lost Marquise Lee for the season. They have lost Niles Paul. It seems like for the season, I don't think he was designated on the IR to return. He's got that sprained MCL. They did lose Austin Severian-Jenkins, another tight end, to AR, but he is designated to return. Leonard Fournette has been running along the sidelines. DJ Hayden, who's been out with a toe injury, has been running along the sidelines. So all that being said, what's the latest with the injuries?
The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979.
All right, let me get my notepad here for all the injuries and
all 25 pages.
Hold on, wait for it. Well, you hit it. I mean, you nailed it. I don't know that you left anybody out of that. Obviously, Leonard Fournette and DJ Hayden are being missed. Tyler Patton had a rough day down in Dallas. So he was exposed time after time in that game. And Leonard Fournette, look, they miss him. If not only for his on-the-field production or not being able to go to him, but maybe he's the spark. He's the added confidence that they need to get something going, because it just seems like everywhere they turn, there is just emptiness. Sad emptiness.
Well, and one guy to keep an eye on, cornerback Jalen Ramsey.
Right, he was questionable at the end of the week, and he had the knee.
Tony Baselli came on our show Monday morning and said on the drill and said that he's not healthy. And even though he played well, certainly he's not healthy. So that's another one that makes you concerned. And Carson Tinker had to go on IR last week.
Right.
The long snapper, special teams, they signed Matt Overton. Matt Overton had a penalty on Sunday, so now you're concerned about some stuff there too.
The bodies keep piling up offensively, and defensively there are guys that are beat up who are still playing who, I don't know. I mean, again, I would assume that people are kind of getting a little bit like, hey, look, man, everybody's hurt. We're just going to have to figure it out and suck it up because
it's adversity.
It is.
They have to fight through it.
Now, there's some things you can't. I mean, if your foot is broken, your foot is broken. But I would assume that when injuries start to pile up and the losses tend to pile up, the injuries start to hurt a little bit more. So we hope that something or somebody can come back and change some things, especially offensively. So you nailed it on the head. We'll keep an eye on these things throughout the week, as on Tuesdays we don't get a whole lot of new information, but we will see.
Yeah, and Corey Grant also on IR with that Liz Frank injury.
Oh, that's right.
Missed
Yeah.
him
I forgot when that one happened. I thought we already talked about that one, but maybe
so
we
many
didn't
different ones.
since
It's almost endless, it feels like. But again, when you pull up the Jaguars injury report and you compare it to another team's, sometimes theirs is even longer. So certainly
everybody's
we hope
having
that,
problems.
Yeah, nobody else. When DJ Chark went down on Sunday, first thing I said was, please, no, we cannot afford to lose another guy. Luckily, he was just fine. All right, when we come back, fandom sure can be painful. We're also going to talk about Michael Bublé and hologram concerts. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Special teams are a part of making
Michael Bublé and hologram concerts.
And I'm going to order me...
You had me at hologram concerts.
An outfit. And some sort of costume at some point.
Stupid Devers. Brah.
Who tied it up?
They did.
Well, no.
Bregman.
Yeah.
But all because of Devers. He didn't start.
Isn't he your favorite guy?
What inning are we in? The fifth?
Yes. Why? Why did you pinch Devers? Why? Why? You better hit a home run when you come up. I'll tell you that right now. If you're gonna post errors, you better be scoring runs. Text my dad. That's your boy, Dad.
He likes him? I thought nobody in your family liked him.
Oh, only him. He keeps. He's young. He's young. You gotta
like who?
Crap. Bull crap. The third baseman for the Sox.
Oh.
That's your
Nice,
boy,
JJ.
Dad.
You know, I've been working on that one.
We're no professional.
Oh, he was singing
I don't know if I like that one or what's the eating one?
So which one?
Or no, the The grill. What is it?
The Sawyer Gas?
Yes.
Sawyer
Yeah, I love that
Gas.
one.
Driving every day.
Like Sinatra wrote that one or something. That one's good.
Yeah, you should be sitting by yourself.
Why do you hate Devers?
Because he makes an error every
He
game.
does suck at third base.
God, he's awful.
Well, that's a good reason not to like him.
But he will hit the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a plus.
This year's been kind of rough.
Yes.
I don't think I have to have a boa.
What are you going to be?
I decided on a flapper.
Oh.
But I don't think I
Well, you gotta have a headband.
I have the headband comes with the dress.
Okay.
And then I have to have one of those necklaces.
Yeah, long
pearls.
Long
Yeah.
pearls.
And so I've got both of those in my cart. But I'm gonna remove the boa.
Where'd you
'cause
find
it's
the
gonna
dress?
be too hot. Amazon.
You can kind of wear those shoes you're wearing today.
Oh, yeah, those would look good.
You know?
Um,
They need thick heels.
well, I
They're
have
not thin
black
heels.
heels that I think will work.
Are they thick? Like a thick heel?
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck is that title?
Yeah, this is what pisses me off.
What the fuck?
Look, Boston Globe investigating it. I hate you, Boston Globe.
Devers made an error. That's why it's tied?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
That's why I'm like, I hate you, Devers.
The headband
Sit
is
by
the
yourself.
clothes.
No one should be by you.
I mean,
I'd be throwing sunflower seeds at him. You suck. You suck. You better get a hit.
It all come
his
together.
new hair is terrible as well.
It's like little worms.
Do you follow the Jared Carabas, the
I
Boston
don't think
Barstool
so.
guy? He was the video of the guy that I tagged you in.
Oh, okay. I really
he's,
did like
he's
the
on
shirt.
here right now.
Is he talking about Devers?
Get in front of the fucking ball,
Yep.
Devers.
I mean, I don't understand how hard it is.
Even
makes-
his mom is in on the action too.
I mean, he makes playing third base look like it's rocket science. It's the hardest freaking thing.
Oh, thank you.
He's actually up here after this.
I get it. It's
Because I have
principle. I know. I'm with you.
Prime.
I have Prime too. I get it.
having
I
a
get it.
hard
Good job
time,
popping up.
but it's
See, I
done.
always turn my filter on so it only lets me see the Prime things anyway.
Oh, right.
See?
But these qualify as Prime. It's
Oh,
just
but you still have to pay because you want it here faster.
because I don't know what time it's going to be delivered on Friday.
It's usually by 8. No later than 8.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
But my party's at 7 p.m. So it's impossible for me to. I cannot sit.
Right.
They literally start at 7. It's like
It's
a
like,
very.
get ready and go.
Yes, it's a very.
Well, you're going to have to.
So I just paid the $8.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm going
good
to
job.
cancel Prime because there's no point in having it at this point.
That's it. I quit.
I'm done. At least I don't have to think about it anymore.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Come on, Steve Pierce.
Well, this is all you got. Wonderful.
Oh, I should probably look up this.
Oh my goodness. Looky here, looky here.
Listening to Helmets and Heels,
Come
built
in.
by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
This next topic is very appropriate for my current state, very appropriate for what occurred this past Sunday for Jags fans, for any fan. Is my sports team killing me? It was an article that was posted on CNN I saw this weekend, and when I sent it to Lauren, she goes, I hate how relevant this is. But yes, and including, especially right now, as I sit here and watch the ALCS Game 3, with the Sox now leading 3-2 after a Steve Pierce home run. So thank you, because I was just extremely mad at Devers for causing an error from tying it up. So yes, up and down goes the feelings and emotions of being a very passionate fan. And so in this article, which I thoroughly enjoyed, they included a Dr. Gillespie, who's a current ER doctor. However, she used to be a doctor at Fenway, so she would see many things from heart attacks to chest pains to injuries, especially probably during Yankees Sox games, I'm sure.
Especially that last game against the Red Sox.
Right.
ALDS.
So they did a study, and they talked about how it can really affect the thrill of a victory and the agony of defeat, how it can really affect you cardiovascularly, and how it spikes, and how the ER will see a tremendous uptake after a game with injuries and chest pains. And so within it, they shared recommendations of how to stay calm and how to not send yourself to the ER, which included avoid binge drinking, make sure you drink plenty of water, which us here in Jacksonville, that was a definite good recommendation for the past few home games.
I'm 0 for 2 so far.
Don't forget to take your medicine if you need it, if you have heart problems. Be careful not to overeat.
1 for 4, I guess.
And watch your step, because unfortunately we've heard many, deaths occur when you're walking, with the escalator and falling off. And yeah, you've heard, not here.
Well, you said you've heard many deaths occur that way. I'm like, dang.
I have. Every year I hear of a death with
That's a bad
falling.
way to go.
At a ballpark?
Yeah.
Your team breaks your heart, and then you fall to your death.
Yeah, you fall off the escalator. You're not because you didn't avoid binge drinking. That's
See, that is both the cause and the cure,
right?
In my opinion.
So that posed the question. Okay, do you have any other recommendations? How do you stay calm? What is the best advice?
Don't watch the game.
I know, right?
Don't watch the game. Avoid contact with people for about 48 hours, and then you feel better. When I was watching the Dallas game on Sunday, and my boyfriend's sort of a new football fan, and so he invited a couple friends over, and
were they
they're
Dallas
all
fans?
They're all Jaguar fans, and they were I was the one that was silently cursing and not talking to anyone and just furious, and it took a lot in me to not just leave the house. Like, we're not winning here, so I'm just going to leave and go somewhere else. Like, it took a lot for me to continue to stay there. And I maybe said 5 words to everyone.
Would having a distraction help?
No, I know, because I want to watch the game. Like, there was still, 11 minutes left in the game, and I think we're still getting blown out. And I'm like, no, there's still a little hope. Like, I'm still going to keep the game on. It's just that I'm a masochist, so I guess that's what I do.
Lauren?
I mean, I think you have to at some point realize you have to put sports in perspective. It's hard when you're in the moment and a team that you feel like so intimately well, and you have these expectations. Then when it all collapses in front of you, especially if you're in public like I was, you get to wherever you're going to watch the game, and for me, I'm no longer hungry. I don't want anything to drink, actually, not water or alcohol. I physically feel ill because there's nothing I can do to control the outcome. But every emotion that I have that's riding with this team, and I know on Monday what it's going to be like coming to work, and I know Tuesday morning and Tuesday night what it's going to be like, and it's sometimes is helpful for me to remember at some point, it happens usually once the game is actually over, to remember it is just sports, and no matter how much I crave this team being successful, I still have no control, so I have to remember that it is just a football game. And right now that's easier because this isn't the postseason.
Right.
And it was a lot more difficult when it was the Steelers, the Bills game, the Steelers game, the Patriots game last year, like what you're watching and going through right now. That is, to me, obviously way more difficult. A regular season game you can handle, except right now we're going through, I think, a crisis. It's a team that I would have put money, if I was a gambling person, I would have put money down that this team would make the Super Bowl. And now, thanks to the injuries, thanks to everything that's going on, it feels like this team won't make the postseason whatsoever. And that is a jarring reality. So I think that is a sign that my sports team, particularly the Jaguars right now, is what we're talking about, is crushing, not my soul, that's way too strong, but it is crushing.
It's ruining your Sunday.
It is.
And Monday, and part of Tuesday.
Yeah, part of me. And it's sad too because, well, it's ironic because my Saturday football team was not expected to be very good, and they're exceeding
Right.
expectations. So Saturdays I'm flying high, and then Sundays come crashing down. So I do think that if I consulted one of these doctors, they would be like, yeah, you've got some blood pressure changes between Saturdays and Sundays.
Rue, I saw that you tweeted, I think Jameson, right?
Yes. That was only because my husband said that when he takes a shot of that before every Jags game, the Jags win. So that was his beverage of choice.
So did he not take a shot?
No, he did. He did, and it didn't work out. And normally he takes one every time they score.
Oh.
And so
Yeah.
it's kind of,
Yeah.
it didn't work out very
You
well.
gotta play the Yo Gotti song,
Yeah.
the juice, the Jag juice.
We had a Jameson, it was a
It
Jameson
was-
Jaguars watch party at Whiskey
Yeah.
Jack's, and the Jameson rep comes over to the table and he's like, all right, guys, normally I wait to pour shots until the Jaguars score, but right now it's just not happening. Yeah, and so
You need to take a seat right next to me.
He put the shots down and he's like, okay, let's just hope, this is gonna change it. And he's like, no, let's wait until they score. And then at halftime, I was like, these shots are mocking me. Like, we're going to have to do, I don't care if you take them back. If we take them, I don't care. But they can't sit there because I'm not sure this team's going to score.
That's
Sorry,
right.
continue.
No, that's exactly right. My one piece of advice to be able to calm down your fandom for your own team is to move to another market where you don't have time to cheer for your own team. You have to cover another one.
I did
Is
hear.
that what you did?
That's why I made the move. That's exactly it, to save my life.
I did hear from, I was listening to a podcast, and it was a Bears fan, and he was talking about the heartbreaking loss against the Dolphins that they suffered over the weekend, and they've sort of had this unexpected season where they're winning a lot of games. And so he said that he was like, after the game, he's like, I went and I took my dog for a walk. He's like, I wanted to calm myself. And then he said that it's sort of, I guess, like glass half full, that he, over the past several years, that he lost, like it was almost like apathetic, his feelings towards the team. And so he missed having that heartbreak feeling. And so that was a little bit of, I guess, I care again sentiment for him.
Because Blythe and Lauren, you are Jags fans, and you're talking about how difficult it is to take a loss. It's like, only when your team is expected to win. Like,
Right.
The last few years, I know y'all weren't taking the losses like you take them now.
Oh, no. Well, 2016, we thought the Jaguars were going to be better, right? That was the year it was going to turn around. And that was the year that the Jaguars came very close to beating the Packers. It ended up being like
that was the first game of the season,
I think. First game. And everybody, it was kind of a moral victory. And we all thought, okay, well, yeah, they didn't win, but they played the Packers close. That means things are going to get better. And then the Jaguars went out to then San Diego to play the Chargers and lost like 35-14. And it was like, and this is the same team. And then
that was the year that was the Raiders game, and the Titans destroyed them on Thursday Night Football like 5 days later.
Yeah, and that was embarrassing as a Jaguars fan, and that's when we thought Gus Bradley wasn't going to survive. He ended up surviving, but obviously, didn't make it too long. But yeah, it's funny, JJ, you say that like the year before the team wasn't very good, yet there's always the off-season optimism with free agent signings and with the draft, and so you do get right back in the philosophy that this team is going to be good, and here I go, take all of my marbles, I'm going to give them all to you, and then you're just going to take them
Super
back.
Bowl or bust.
Yeah, you're just going to throw them away, roll them away, one at a time.
Because I've learned it's a lot easier to take L's when your team sucks.
Yes,
they're just not very relevant. Like,
right. The
Miami,
expectations
when we
are low.
played Florida State like 2 weeks ago, that's obviously our Super Bowl. So, like, I was sweating. I was so hyped for that. But, we just lost to Virginia, and honestly, I didn't care at all. I mean, I cared. I watched it, but it didn't, affect my physical body like the Florida State game.
Oh, that would have affected my physical body.
Really?
For sure, absolutely.
I mean, I've just learned over the years that Miami's not a relevant.
Yeah, I'd like to put a heart rate monitor
so
on people when we watch games and just see what happens. I think that would be fun.
It's in a sort of similar vein, it was about a year ago that all my girlfriends were out. We were all in Vegas, and we saw the Thunder from Down Under show, and she had an Apple Watch on. And during the show, the Apple Watch reminded her to breathe. So I would love to have that setting on during a Jaguars game.
She lost her breath based on
it said, remember to breathe.
Oh, that's funny.
Magic Mike, man. That's
a different show.
I know, but it's kind of
same gist.
Still thing.
Same concept.
Yeah, same concept.
All right, well, let's move on to retirement. And the story that brought up retirement was I saw what I thought was real headline, and it scared me because I'm such a Michael Bublé fan that said he was going to retire. But been made false now, which
I saw it on Drudge Report and immediately thought of you. Sadly.
See, that's sad, but I'm happy that you
No,
know.
it was sad that it was happening. I felt bad for you. I'm like, her boo.
Well, thank you. It is my boo, and but Mike Dempsey had him on his fantasy show and confirmed that is since false.
Because a lot of things that come out of the Daily Mail.
Apparently.
Why was Michael Bublé on a
fantasy He's
show?
Such a fantasy football fanatic.
That's cool.
Yes. And so that brought me to the question of what is the one player for any sport that you would want to see come out of retirement?
David Garrard.
Really? is that a for real?
Only if he can play quarterback.
All right, I enjoy that one. Okay.
I'm going to go with kind of an easy one, but that's only because I'd like my kids to know who he was in his prime, Michael Jordan.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I don't want like retired Michael Jordan to come out because that.
No, I'm talking about.
But bring him back in his prime. So
right.
when my kids right now, it's LeBron, it's Steph, it's KD, and I'm like, yeah. You don't know Michael Jordan was, and they're like, what? Who? And I'm like, oh my God, I failed you. So that's what I like to bring back.
I thought of him actually too, because I would like to see Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. I would like them in the exact same game at some point, or championship series. So you stole mine actually.
Oh, sorry. Well, you can share. Well, I'll share it with you.
Don, I'll let you go, and then I'll try and think of another one.
I too actually went the NBA route, and I went with Larry Bird, because I will sit here and I'll watch when the NBA TV has their old games or has Bird versus Magic. I'll sit there and watch them all day because it's so exciting as how fun they played with the passing game, with everything. It was just so much fun back then to watch it. So I would love to see Bird.
Yeah, I think that's good. The other ones I thought of were baseball pitchers, because you hear so much about guys that played before you grew up.
Right.
And, everybody talks about legends, like even Cy Young, right? The award's named after him. I have no idea what Cy Young did, right? Other than he was obviously very good. Or a guy even like not, I was going to say Kershaw, it's not Kershaw, the other guy. Koufax, thank you. Like Sandy Koufax, I never got to watch him pitch. So even Babe Ruth, somebody that could do things that can't be done now, or at least now we see guys that are trying to imitate their style. I think that would be awesome.
I'd love to see Fat Babe nowadays. That'd be sick. I mean, we had Mo Vaughn.
Yes.
Yeah. He wasn't very great.
Oh, Mo Vaughn was fantastic.
He was all right, but he wasn't Babe Ruth.
No, he wasn't Babe Ruth.
I would love to see Brett Favre in today's NFL offensive rules.
I'm sure Brett Favre would love to see Brett Favre again. I'm surprised that hasn't been announced. He wants to come out for the fourth time.
Yeah, he can get the protection.
ESPN used to have like a roving reporter on
yep.
a plane,
Yes, always waiting for
where's he at,
that was
what's
the
he
worst.
doing?
There is nothing worse than that a guy who does this whole retirement shtick and then is like, oh wait, never mind, I didn't mean it. It's like, okay, what is happening now?
I think also football-wise, a guy like Barry Sanders or even locally Fred Taylor to come back.
Bo Jackson would have been fun to watch too, in his, for me personally in his prime.
I mean, I'd love to have Jerry Rice on New England right now. That'd be fun.
And Randy Moss,
please. Yes.
Listen, stop taking all the glory. We need the help.
Well, then let's, like you said, let's go with a quarterback, please. Can we have that one? Yeah. So I don't know but they're a lot of fun. Well, we'll stay with Jags and Kawhi Leonard, and I haven't heard this awkward laugh, so I'm very excited.
Oh, get ready! I'm about to ruin your day.
If it's anything like Chris Sims, I'm very excited to hear.
Okay.
So more of that coming up next on Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Get play-by-play under the Friday Night Lights.
JJ, should be somewhere.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, I made sure earlier. Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
Is this the remix with his laugh?
I don't know. Is this the remix or is this the?
I think just the laugh is better.
We'll do just the laugh.
Yeah, that was.
We've all heard the horror stories of people paying a roofer, but their roof doesn't get finished and the roofing company disappears. Lauren Brooks here, and if your roof is in need of repair or if you need a brand new roof, contact my friends at All Pro Roofing and Consulting. All Pro Roofing has over 25 years of experience. They don't require any upfront deposits, and they never sub out their crews, so you know you can trust them. All Pro offers industry-leading warranties because they're both state certified and certified by the manufacturers. All Pro Roofing and Consulting is a family-owned company and a part of the Lloyd's family of businesses. Find them online at allproroofingllc.com.
Thank you.
No, thank you, sir.
We're done.
Yeah, we are. because that means I can use some extra room.
You have just the regular one?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
If you want to call that regular.
Well, there's that one and there's the NBA remixed version. That's
Yeah,
also
which only makes
horrible
sense if
too.
you've already heard
Right,
the
that's
laugh
right.
enough times.
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited.
Oh, don't be, because it's
It's just a funny internet video.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But the sound of it though, it like
It's so weird.
makes my like.
First of all, because you know Kawhi.
Yeah,
Right.
It's so
That
freaking
motherfucker
awkward
ain't laughing
anyway.
about anything.
No.
That's why it's like that was probably the first time he's ever laughed.
Yes.
So it just came out, and
He's like,
was
what
probably
just
like,
happened?
"Whoa."
What was that sound?
Yeah.
Well, I love
Have you
when
seen
they.
that Family Guy? It was like one of the original episodes where he's like, yeah, I remember I didn't fart till I was in my 20s. He was like in college with Long Harrison in a beanbag chair, and he farts, and he's like, what the hell is that? I'll never forget that.
Dude, Family Guy is so awesome.
Are they still on air?
Oh,
with new
yeah.
seasons?
Yep.
I don't know.
They
I
are.
don't know.
They are, because I have it set to record. I record.
You record Family Guy?
I do.
I have like the
That's
first
crazy.
4 or 5 seasons on DVD back when like buying season
And
DVDs
that
were
was
like a thing.
Everybody had to get the first few seasons because they canceled it.
Yes, I was one of the few who bought it
Right.
and then they brought it
Right,
back
yeah.
after because so many people bought the DVD releases.
Dude, I love it, man. It's fantastic.
Used to
Yeah,
fall
they said
asleep to
DVD
it.
sales saved that show.
Did you ever fall asleep to the DVD and then wake up and the menu is
Oh,
playing
and it's,
over
like,
and over
really-
again?
With the music.
Jesus.
DVDs, rest in peace. Remember when we were like, as a society, trying to figure out if we were going to be Blu-ray or
Yep.
HD as a society?
Yep.
And then like, whatever the other one was, not Blu-ray, just...
No, like a laser disc? Wasn't there like
that
a...
was like, we had Laserdisc like in school.
Yeah.
Like, the old
Yeah.
projection system
Huh.
used it sometimes. It was called HD DVD, I think. That was it.
Oh.
But they just died.
That's funny.
Here it is. This is my jam.
This is your jam.
I can't wait to put pajamas
You can't wait to what?
on. Put pajamas on.
Oh. I think you
Mama
said
did
I
this-
can't wait to have Papa John's.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like,
Put pajamas on.
that's an odd comment by you.
Yes, that would be very odd.
I know. That's why.
Good, yeah.
So the last station I worked for, our logo was so not done very well. And from a distance looked like a Papa John's logo. And I shit you not, people would be... I'd be at like some public outing and they'd be like,
Why are you
oh,
wearing...
are you here? Did you bring the pizza? And I'm like, what are you... Oh, no. No, I did not bring the pizza. So then it became this running joke with my girlfriends. And so for 1 year for my birthday, they got a cookie cake and then made it look like a pepperoni pizza and then put it in a Papa
that's
John's
cool.
box.
That's funny.
That's
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah, it was cute.
Did you
So
see-
the running joke on Friday night, because I would work high school games, is we'd all be down at happy hour at the park with our kids and meet whatever, and then somebody, when we all first started to hang out, and I would have the polo on, her husband looked at her and he goes, I left and he goes, did she have to go deliver pizza on Friday night? That's so sad. So the running joke from them
That
was
is
like,
sad.
okay, I had to go deliver my pizza. See y'all later.
That's sad. Did you see that Hungry Howie's kid that plays the piano?
No.
I don't know what
Like a
state.
commercial?
No, I don't know what state he's actual Hungry Howie's delivery guy, and he loves playing the piano. And so when he delivers your food, he'll peek and
Like a little.
yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
he's
have time for that.
he's like
Get out.
he's like a concert pianist, like
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he was on Ellen the other day.
Of course.
One of the many shows I record.
Have you seen the new "We're Not Racist" Papa John's commercial?
Yes, I
They
have.
make me laugh
Every
time.
With like all of the
Diversity.
All of the non-white owners.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wait, is it an interracial couples and one of them
It's
or
just like-
something?
they're
No, it's
just
just
like
everybody.
owners, like they're
Franchise.
It's like the franchisees.
Yeah,
They interacted. It's like
franchisees,
we're
but
all,
they're-
we're all part of the Papa John's family.
Oh,
It's like,
Jesus.
Like, man,
Crisis
everybody sees
control.
that. Trying to act like y'all aren't Papa John's.
They're trying to get away from
Papa
the
John.
Papa John. But we're still Papa John's.
From the Papa.
All right, here we go.
All right.
What's up, man? How are you?
Do you want me to wrap us out of here, or do you want me to give it to you and you can take us out?
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
All right, enough doom and gloom up in this place. We like to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to do that right now. Now, I say that, and you've been warned. This may be upsetting to you or your children around, so listen with caution. Kawhi Leonard is awkward. Kawhi Leonard doesn't smile very often. But in his introductory press conference up in Toronto, I think it was NBA Media Day or whatever, he was asked in front of a pool of reporters kind of about his future there and just regular questions. And one got him to giggle, and this is what came out.
See, no, for me, that is not nearly as bad as Chris Sims.
The giggling?
Yes.
Okay, well.
It sounds like he's crying.
It does. It sounds painful. Like it makes, like it hurts my skin. I kind of go, oh my God, stop, make it stop. So then, do you have the other one by chance, JJ, if you can, no biggie. But the NBA, well, somebody, this is why the internet is amazing. Somebody,
Undefeated.
Today's NBA opening day. And you know the NBA theme song, somebody had some extra time on their hands and
that's awesome.
Put something together that is also very hilarious.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
So bad.
That's awesome.
Big ups to NBC, by the way, who hasn't had the NBA in like 10 plus years, but that song is still glued in my mind.
It is, absolutely. Okay, so that leads me down the path of sounds you cannot stand. I will hit lead off tonight. In addition to Kawhi Leonard's laugh, the sound of people eating their food with their mouth open is enough to make me reach over and squeeze you by the throat so that you can't breathe. That maybe sounds. It is something that
I think that's called manslaughter.
It might,
or
but you probably had it coming if you are eating to where I can hear the food in your mouth. That also includes slurping soup, or if you breathe too loudly out of my mouth, and I live with one of those, who I'm like, can you please breathe out of your nose? So mouth breathers.
I think you might have some
I have a problem.
It happens a lot, I think.
It does. Sounds like it is. I can hear, as my mom would say, a mouse peeing on cotton. My hearing, that means I can hear like everything.
A mouse?
Like a mouse peeing on cotton.
Oh, okay.
It's an expression from the South.
But I thought you didn't hear well on the phone.
I don't
be
either.
From the South. I've never heard that one.
Well, it's Eastern Arkansas.
Okay.
That's where
Midwest,
she's from.
right?
No. Like over by Memphis. She will tell you, Lauren, your hearing is so sensitive. You could hear a mouse peeing on cotton. It's just okay. Doesn't matter. You can actually hear a mouse peeing on cotton.
Yeah,
but yes, I'm very sensitive to sounds. Somebody else weigh in on this one. I'm like the only crazy
A shovel on concrete. Can't stand it. Shovel on concrete, and then also if I'm riding in a car and someone's using their windshield wipers and there's not enough water there and it's making that I go crazy.
Yes.
I cannot stand, this is not just sound, but also the reality of the situation. I can't stand when someone leaves their blinker on and either they're not turning or they go past, like if you're in the car and they're not turning and that blinker's on. I think I drive people crazy because I'm like, your blinker's on. You need to turn your blinker off. And it may have only been like a half a second since they needed to turn it off, but I don't care who I'm in the car with. If I barely know them, I'll say, which I probably don't ride with a lot of people I barely know, but you get the point. I can't stand that, like, no, it shouldn't be on. Plus, it's the principle of it, too.
Right.
Like, you're communicating to people something that you shouldn't be communicating, so it's all wrapped into one.
We are in Florida, so it's very commonplace here.
Also, if you ever go to the nail salon and they don't use like a normal nail file, they use those like chunky blocks to like, I can't stand that noise. And I just want them to finish as soon as possible.
I have two, the smacking of gum, I don't like. I don't like looking at it. I don't like hearing it. I think you look obnoxious when you chew gum.
I wish everyone could see
I
y'all's
do.
faces as you go through these because you're channeling that
Yeah,
anger
yeah.
and
Like,
the hate.
it's so obnoxious and I can't stand that. And now this is more medically, I can't listen to this. I can't listen to Lil Wayne.
What?
Because literally he will.
Your doctor told you that?
No, my brain will start to. I can feel it all of a sudden. As I'm about to have a seizure.
So you couldn't listen to the Carter Five?
Nope, can't listen to Lil Wayne. I don't know
Why
what
just
it is.
him? Anybody else?
I don't know. Before I started at 1010, so it was seriously. That's really like I can't.
Really?
Yeah, like it will start. I will start to shake. Something about it.
Go back to Kawhi. Go back to Kawhi.
Before I started at 1010, I was at a different radio station, and it was music, and so I would bump back in, and that would be one of the songs, and I'm like, I can't listen to it. I don't know what I'm saying if I'm talking over a song right now, but blah 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 blah. You know what I would have.
That's the most.
Only if it's Lil Wayne.
Now.
Only Lil Wayne.
What if you don't know it's his song?
There's something about whatever he was playing. I don't know, but yeah,
Interesting.
I can't.
All right.
The
I'm
voice.
assuming it's newer Lil Wayne, like more on heavy narcotics Lil Wayne. How many?
No, this
Old
was
Lil
over
Wayne.
10 years ago.
Okay.
Wow. So you might be able to listen to the new stuff.
I don't know,
Lil
but I'm
Wayne's
not. I'm not going to put my brain into that situation. So.
Well, I have one sports related.
Yes.
Chris Berman.
Oh.
Anything he's involved with. Yeah, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're alone in that one.
No, not at all.
Well, we didn't. Nothing was very loud on Sunday as far as cheering wise for the Jaguars because of obvious reasons. However, D.D. Westbrook found it appropriate for him to celebrate when he scored a touchdown, being down 24-0. Blythe, the look on your face right now, I'm going to let you.
I was furious. I was so mad.
Because
you're down by like 30 points and you're celebrating. Like, it's almost like celebrating a C on a report card full of Fs. Like, get your behind back to the sideline and figure out everything else you need to be working on right now. I hated it.
See, I disagree. He's the only damn one that scored, so bravo, you should celebrate.
No.
I don't like when defensive players celebrate. This is more for the secondary. The ball was clearly not going to be caught, and you celebrate like you did something. No, don't be celebrating nothing. You had nothing to do with that ball sailing over his head. Don't celebrate
the celebration didn't bother me. I mean, the Jaguars brought it to within 18 points at that point, right? Like, they were technically in the game. I get
3 scores.
I have to put myself sometimes outside of my brain and put myself in their shoes, and every touchdown they score means something for them personally. Not just does it mean more, followers on social media, but usually it means more money, and it certainly means points in fantasy, and it means acclaim, and those are all good things for them. So I have to remind myself that yes, it wasn't necessarily a game where the offense was performing well at all, but it was a bright spot, and maybe the celebration was hopefully going to bring a spark to them. So I didn't have an issue too much.
No, it's still it's like going out to eat and throwing a big party for getting a C on your report card, and you got an F in every other category. It's not acceptable.
What bothered me way more was the camera showed a couple of guys on defense laughing after the Cowboys made it like 30-7. And at that point 31-7, that one really bothered me because it was like, I am physically
maybe they have to laugh to keep from crying.
Maybe, but
which I
those
laughed
guys
a few
didn't play
times
all that
maniacally.
well, so they really did not have an opportunity, I thought, to laugh. If you were to take me into that situation and my team is down by that much to a team that's not very good, laughing would never happen.
No smiles.
I get it. They may be talking about other stuff, but for me personally, I had more of an issue with that than DD's.
I noticed the camera that showed Bortles at one point on the sidelines laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing? Did you see a video of your own throw?
He's laughing because he just got $20 million for nothing, for being the 30th best quarterback in the league.
Play Kawhi again, JJ.
The remix.
The remix.
I'm surprised you must not hate it as much as you said, because you keep saying to
because
play
I
it.
love hate it, because it's like I hate it, but I love to hate it. You know what I mean?
I love the video along with it.
It's also bad.
It's just so
It's so
awkward.
bad.
And everybody knows Kawhi's never laughed in his life.
That's exactly right.
It's like the first time he's ever actually heard it himself.
No, it's like a baby deer or something. I don't even know. All right, I need predictions, ladies, about what's going to happen on Sunday when we reconvene next Tuesday, which will be the Tuesday eve before the trip to London. What is the record of this team? Do they find a way to not turn this back-to-back loss into a 3-game skid, or is it more of the same? I personally cannot figure this out. I each week go into this thinking something different or expect some different result, whether it's good or bad.
You've only picked one Jaguars game right?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
The win against the Jets was the only one I got correct. And I'm killing it, is basically what she's saying. So it's confusing for me. Right now, I would tell you, for the sake of this conversation, that I can't. I'm done picking these guys to win until they can show me something different than what they've done in the past couple of weeks. It's not a personal thing. It's just, how in good faith do I tell you you're going to beat a team? Period.
That's how.
Period.
That was our mentality 2 years ago.
Which
not picking them until
coming
they
into
something.
this, it was the opposite. I mean, this was like the Super Bowl
This is a
tickets
layup.
were ready to go, and people were booking the hotels in Atlanta, and here we come, and all the things. And I kind of tried to pump the brakes, and I got a lot of crap for it. And then I was like, okay, I'm along for this ride. And then it was like screeching halt. What the hell has happened? So, Lauren Brooks, who wins on Sunday?
I think it's a great question because, the Jaguars are reeling right now. And while the Texans aren't a great football team, they at least are able to figure it out enough to get wins over the last couple of weeks. And I think the Jaguars' defensive line is a strength, but I also think the Texans' defensive line is a strength. So when you look at then quarterback to quarterback, we have a very hard time predicting what's going to be the play of Blake Bortles. Deshaun Watson certainly hasn't been as good as he was last season, and teams are starting to figure him out. But this Jaguars defense has not played well against mobile quarterbacks. Well, Deshaun Watson is one of those. So as much as it pains me, I feel as of today on Tuesday, I may change my mind by Sunday morning, but I feel like the Texans are going to win the football game.
Times like this, I go to betting sites because my personal fandom judgment cannot be trusted. And oddsharks.com tells me that the Jaguars are going to win 25-18 in their simulation. So that's what I'm going to go with.
So you're taking the Jags? Is that what you just said?
I'm taking the Jags.
Donna?
I wouldn't be surprised with either outcome. I don't. The only thing that obviously right now the Texans have going for them is they have a 3-game winning streak. So they're at least coming in here positive. They did beat Dallas, which is obviously something Jacksonville did not do last week.
But Watson isn't healthy. That's my thing.
Yeah, well, what Bortles is going to show up? And will this defense show up? Like, who's going to show up this week? It's just, I don't like a wishy-washy team. I don't like that we don't know what this team's identity is, who they are, who they think they are. So I obviously want Jacksonville to win. I could see them winning. I can also see them poo-pooing like they did the past 2 weeks. But the odds of them losing 3 in a row, not high, because they haven't done that with Marrone as a head coach. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Okay, I didn't
After all that,
where we were going with this.
Yeah.
After all that,
I did the I don't know,
Yeah.
and I ended up in one place. So we'll see.
We'll split down the middle for the sake of choosing this game for this week, and then hopefully it'll be a victory Tuesday when we reconvene on next week. JJ, would you care to weigh in? You got to pick quickly.
I like the Jags to win, actually. I got an argument with the Hack about this last night. I just think the Texans are terrible. The NFL is kind of a crazy place, so I don't see them losing 3 straight. And just for that reason, I'll take the Jags.
All right. Well, speaking of Hacker, we got to get out of the way for XL Primetime that's following us here on 1010XL. Great show today, ladies. We had some really amazing guests, and we appreciate them for coming by. Katie Cox, Peyton Titus, and of course Ashlyn Sullivan, who joins us every Tuesday. Great job by JJ LaSelva, killing it every single week. For Donna Murphy, Blythe Brumley, Lauren Brooks, I am Lauren Rue. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay tuned for XL Prime Time here on Tinted XL.